Welcome to the latest episode of the 15-minute chat series with local businesses. It's brought to you in partnership with BDO Central, which provides its members with professional business support services. Today I meet up with Heather Hallam, a partner at BDO Central. They're accountants and business advisors. They're based in Napier, but they've got branches all across New Zealand, I think, not just the North Island, I was going to say. Is that about right?
That's right, yeah, North Island and South Island.
North Island and South Island. So, Heather, what were you craving most during lockdown?
Look, I'm a person that enjoys social contact, so it was very much about missing the face-to-face contact and, all the technical meetings, Zoom, MS Teams has been marvellous, but it doesn't beat face-to-face. So, that's been a big part of what I've missed.
Yeah, and that can be clients through to, your own team members and stuff where some people said, just being able to pop your head around the corner and have a conversation or while getting a coffee or a water, that type of thing, that's really what they've been missing.
Exactly that. The team's been fantastic and we've done very well, but it's just not the same. And, seeing family and friends, it's a very big part of who I am. And so that's been something that I really have missed.
So you're excited about that part of it, getting back out and saying, here I am? And
Yep, very excited to see my grandchildren again and of course their parents, but, been particularly missing the grandchildren. So that'll be great.
Cool, great. Hey, and what sort of technology and software and stuff have you been relying most on?
Oh, look, we're probably fairly lucky. We already had embraced cloud accounting and a lot of our clients had embraced cloud accounting, so that was really, really good. But we were able to transition very quickly to MS Teams for having our team meetings so that we could keep up those really good levels of communication. Zoom meetings for business networking meetings and other things like that. So I think our use of those sort of online meetings as a forum has really increased, and it's a great tool to be able to use.
Cool. Now, I actually was speaking to someone else that's an accountant today, and they said, they've been busy, really busy, but it's sort of not the work that you necessarily like to do. Has that been the case for you guys? Being really busy, because, every business, finances is at the heart of their business, and so is that a lot of what the work has been over the last few weeks?
Look, I would say that we have been busy doing some different work, but I think it's been work that's been really good to get alongside our clients on, spend the time with them, helping them to feel more comfortable about what's going on, what they have to look at, reviewing their plans and being quick at change. People don't like change, but you do have to be in the mode at the moment, and it could be short-term change, it could be long-term change. So that's probably what we've been doing a lot of. We have found that as the teams have been working from home, it's been doing well, but there are distractions in the home environment. So, we've been very conscious of that. And so, we've very much given our guys the space to go, hey, we know you're not going to have a full day, and here's what it's going to look like. So it's a bit of different work going on in a different way.
Yeah, so there sort of has been a bit of number crunching and stuff, but accountants have moved a lot into the advisory space and things as well, and this has provided the perfect opportunity, I suppose, for other businesses to come to you and say, look, we're all in this together, this is what we're facing, this is our business and its unique potential issues and stuff, and you're helping them guide them through and navigate their way through that and putting new plans in place.
Oh, look, absolutely. And, people often talk about having a business plan and having a cash flow forecast and things like that. It is essential. There isn't any way that you can't run your business and not know where your cash comes from and where it's going to, where the cash might be disappearing. Cash is king. It's never been more important than it is now. So we've been able to, get into some really good work, and we've got some good work lined up in front of us, helping clients to do that. If they're looking at some of the government support packages, they need to be able to provide good cash flows and projections. as I said, not only to run their business, but to be able to apply for those packages. So it's such an important thing. We're very lucky. We're part of the Regional Partner Business Scheme, which means that we can tap into getting those vouchers that can also help the client to pay for that work, because, right at the time they need that work to be done might not be the best time for them to be getting a bill from us. So, we're really pleased that we can offer that to our clients, and for those that qualify for that scheme, it helps to pay for that work, or it pays for that work in its entirety, which is really, really good.
So what's been the general mood? Is it, and it's probably changed too, it probably went from the fear and the unknown sort of stuff. Then there's, you've got to remain optimistic and look and be positive towards the future and stuff. Has it been that? Has it been sort of a rocky-ish road of emotions and how business people have been feeling?
Oh, absolutely. And I think in the first instance, it was just dealing with, what do we need to do right now? Those that needed to apply for the wage subsidy, and then having applied for the wage subsidy, how did they actually use that to pay their staff and the payroll? What did that look like? What conversations did they need to be having with their own teams? Through to now where people are going, okay, well, I'm returning to work, but what does that actually mean? And, how does my health and safety plan have to look? And so while we don't help them with their health and safety plan, we point them in the right direction to make sure they're getting all of that in place. And, so I think there is a bit of an optimism now that people are returning to work. Fantastic, but it really is that planning, reviewing, and adjusting that's really such an important thing right now. So for those businesses that are affected by tourism and hospitality type issues, they're still facing some quite uncertain futures, and so it depends what industry they're in as to what they need and when they need it.
Do you think your relationships, and they probably are very strong anyway with your clients, but do you think because of going through adversity and stuff, they will become a stronger, more working relationship? Or
yeah, most definitely. Ring me in the middle of this. We often talk about having that close working relationship with clients, but it's really good to see that at the times when they need us most, they reach out and they've been able to contact us. The working from home's been great because they have been able to get a hold of us, and we have been able to either point them in the right direction if they've needed some advice outside our sphere, or just sit alongside them in the things that they're needing to think about. So I think those relationships are really, really good and will continue to be that way. We've had very, very good feedback from clients over this time period where we've been able to help them through something.
Yeah. You've all been in isolation, your entire team and everybody at BDO. What are some of the learnings from this that you think, well, actually that has worked really well. We will continue to adopt that on the other side. Is that for a lot it's been that flexibility, but others it's been communication.
Yeah, so probably the big thing that we've really learned is how resilient our team were. We kind of went a little bit early with getting people to take some equipment home and test it so that we knew we were well set up. So we started doing that about 10 days ahead of the actual lockdown coming, only because we thought, hey, it's a really good time to make sure that our staff really can work from home properly and do those things. As I said, subject to the distractions that can be in the home environment. But I think our team, really took that on board, got themselves organised. Team meetings has been great. We've been having weekly team meetings, and everyone just pitches in with what's going on in their bubble for that week. For some it was business as usual. When homeschooling came in, there were some interesting comments being made by some of our staff. So I think that we've probably communicated better right across the practice during this time period, because it's been something that we've all enjoyed doing.
Okay, if we turn to the Hawke's Bay economy, and many say that we're quite well placed because of its diversity, do you think we are in a stronger position than other parts of New Zealand?
Look, the feedback we're getting is that, yes, the Hawke's Bay economy is in a better place than some other parts of New Zealand. Ideally, we wouldn't be challenged by a drought at the same time. I mean, that's not the two events that you'd have collide with each other in terms of a recovery. we're coming into winter, it tends to be when people hibernate slightly anyway. So all those things, probably aren't the right timing if there was a good timing for all of this. But I do think there's an optimism, but people are going to be careful. They're not going to be out there making some great moves, but out of that, there will be opportunities, and, Hawke's Bay has generally shown itself to be quite good at taking up opportunities and running with them rather.
Do you think there'll be a higher level of innovation and people what I've found during this period is that you've probably been more willing to give something a crack or a go to see what it's going to be like. And if it hasn't, you can just move, you've got the ability to move to the next one. Do you think that will play a role as well, that people will just, look to try things or be a little bit more adventurous, going forward?
I think they will be, Damon, and I think that's probably kind of twofold. Sometimes you can get busy doing the things you do, and you're very busy doing those things, and you don't step back and sort of look around at what those other opportunities are. So maybe if, as people return to work, they're saying, well, what can my staff do? What can my team look at? They might just, put some more energy and some more commitment of time into some of those innovative things and see if they can't get them off the ground now and that sort of thing. And again, I think Hawke's Bay has shown itself to be quite adaptable at picking up different ideas and running with it. We've got lots of examples of stars that have come out of Hawke's Bay. So I think that will rise to the fore and that will be very helpful.
Would you advise businesses to sort of document what they've experienced over this period of time? What are the things they potentially, or they put in place, things that didn't work and did work and that sort of stuff, just on the off chance, touch wood, that these sort of things don't happen again into the future, but you can pull that plan out and have a look at it and say, okay, yep, we can do this, don't do that type of thing?
Oh, very definitely. And I always think that, having some documentation of what you've done is always a very good idea, because if you do it at the time, you've got, here's the things we thought about, here's the things we encountered, and here's the information on them. If you try and do that in 2 years' time and look back and go, now, why didn't we progress with that, or what was the roadblock on that? It's all very hard to try and remember what the specifics were, whereas, it doesn't have to be something, really formal and lengthy, but just some notes, some background information is always going to be good, because it will help when you're looking back or looking at what the opportunities that you might not have even proceeded with right now, but 6 months from now might be time to pull them out again and have another look. So documenting is a fantastic thing to do.
Hey, Heather, it's been fantastic catching up with you. I was just thinking about the date of when this all occurred, which was when end of years for some businesses are, and then in a couple of months there's another end of the year for some other businesses. So, accountants and business advisors would have been under the pump over the last period of time. So,
exactly.
So, look, it's been fantastic catching up with you, and best wishes once we're all out of this and moving forward.
That's fabulous. Thanks very much for that, Damon. Good to talk.
Great to talk.
Bye.